Hi, and welcome to A Solo Person's Guide to ADHD. I'm Christine Dunning, your host. I'm a Master Certified Life Coach and the owner of this Two Cats Coaching. Today, I want to talk about something that feels like, I don't know, both a sitcom setup and a little bit of a horror film. The holidays. And how we, those of us who are both single and have ADHD, how we handle these 6 weeks or 2 months almost, depending on how often you count them. How we handle this time. Holidays are demanding. There's so much extra stress put on, so many more things to do, so many more things to be part of. Yeah. And the thing is, if we are single and ADHD, there's one of us to handle really what should be the work of multiple people. So unless you can afford to hire it out, guess what? It all falls on you. Today, I especially want to talk about the practical issues that we find around the holidays. Not so much the emotional strain. I'm going to deal with that in I believe it's episode 25, coming up in a few weeks. So today is actually going to be how to get stuff done. Because I think even before we deal with that stress of how do I deal with the emotions, the being around the people and the family issues and all that, just actually getting the things done on your to-do list is huge. So understand, you're not dropping balls because you're disorganized. You're dropping balls because, again, you're doing the work of two people with one brain, and that brain has ADHD. And it has a hard enough time getting things done on its own. So, right, deep breath. Let's dive in. So, as I talk about holidays, what I'm talking about here is really depending on how you count it. I've got a lot of friends who start the holiday countdown with Halloween because that actually has its own list of things to do. Costumes, candy, if you've got kids, it's double for all of that. A lot of people like to decorate. A lot of people like to do parties and things like that for Halloween. But for the rest of us, I like Halloween, but it's not something particularly special in my life. For the rest of us, it usually starts with Thanksgiving. And so with Thanksgiving, we've got all the food, depending on where you are, whether you're the one doing a bunch of cooking or if you're having to bring something to somebody's house, or maybe you have to split your time between a few houses. A lot of people do that. Whatever kind of travels you have to do. And of course, all the fine family dynamics, those are always really fun. But I think the big one for most of us is Christmas. And pardon me, I'm going to talk about secular Christmas here. Those of you who aren't Christian, that's fine. If you are of religions and don't celebrate Christmas at all, a lot of this still applies. But Christmas is the one I think about. And, you have everything from the tree, the decorations, the holiday cards, presents for all sorts of people you never thought about getting presents for. And then you have to gift wrap all those suckers, put labels on them, the whole 9 yards. All the different meals that you might have to do, everything from like a Christmas Day meal, sometimes a Christmas Eve meal, to just having other special things going on. Christmas cookies, work parties, friends parties, family parties, thank you notes. The list seems to be endless. Now, let's add in there, maybe you do celebrate Christmas. Maybe you also celebrate some other things like Kwanzaa or Hanukkah. That also has its own list of things. And I know I'm missing a whole bunch. There's a ton of them. There's something like 27 holidays from mid-November through the first of the year. And then add on to that just a week later, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, other partying, deciding what to do, fancy dress, not fancy dress, going bowling with friends, you still have to show up to things. And then hopefully by January 2, you start to collapse, except now you know, oh yeah, it's the beginning of the year. I'm supposed to have resolutions, new me, new year, all that stuff. The pressure is endless. Let's start to unpack some of this. First of all, again, as a single person, you don't usually have somebody else to bounce a bunch of things back to. Oh, you do the gift shopping, I'll do the wrapping. You write the holiday cards, I'll put them in the envelopes and get them to the mailbox. Personally, for me, just getting things in the mailbox, huge ADHD trigger. Takes me forever. I'm not kidding. I have over on this counter here a birthday card for my nephew. His birthday was in August, and it's November. I figure I'm just going to take it to him next week when I see him at Thanksgiving. Yeah, I can't do mail. So, in partners' households, again, you've got that extra support. Or, if you don't, at least maybe the other person is picking up the slack, I don't know, by working. We have to do that too. So, how do we handle that? For me, it's just trying to keep track of everything in one place. Some people really like, a simple piece of paper, one page, one notebook with your things on it. Maybe a whiteboard in your house, maybe something on your refrigerator. For me, it's the calendar on my phone, and I put notes right in the calendar. If I have to take a dish, say I've been invited to a party and I'm supposed to bring a side dish, I will plug in my side dish suggestion right next to the calendar. So my calendar will read, go to Trish's house on Friday at 7 p.m. The next thing says, bring Brussels sprouts to Trish's house. Because if I don't say that, it doesn't exist for me. And by putting it there, my calendar on my phone is a place that I look often. And I've trained myself to look there all the time. Put it someplace where you will see it, where you will notice it. That's your regular place to look for things. So, again, this isn't really a system. It's just keeping above the water. Second thing I'd like to talk about is all those decisions to make. I personally have a whole ton of nieces and nephews. Most of them are adults now. Frankly, a lot of them have children now. And then there are various friends that I share holidays with. There are people that I want to give things to, even simple things like the delivery guy or my massage therapist or things like that. I want to be able to give them something too. And it gets to be a lot. It's a lot financially. It's a lot logistically. It's a lot just to keep track of. Most of my family lives outside of the state that I'm in. And so it would be, again, then there's the issue of, you already heard me talk about it, the mail. I have to get stuff in the mail to be shipped. Most of the kids aren't little anymore. Doesn't matter quite so much. So here's an idea of what to do. Simplify all those things. Buy things in bulk. People that are the people you want to give gifts to, your cleaner, your massage therapist, your mailman, all those kinds of people that are, you want to give them your end of the year thank you gift. Teachers, there's another good one if you have kids. As a teacher, please. Also, as a teacher, please don't forget your specials teachers. Music teachers, we didn't get as much. But buy the same thing. Buy a bunch of one thing, whether it's candles or food. People really like food gifts. Small dollar gift cards. Even $5 for Starbucks, that's a drink for most people. And that's a great thank you. And it doesn't have to be a lot. So, but purchase those things in bulk and send them out. I personally am a big believer in gift cards as long as they are of something that somebody would use. And don't worry about being practical. Gift cards can be incredibly practical. You've got a young family and they're, struggling to figure out how to make ends meet. Get them a grocery card. They'll probably really appreciate it. And tell them, hey, splurge and buy yourself some steaks or something like that. Give it for splurge food. But buy one of the same thing whenever you can. That makes things so much simpler. Think about some of the unusual gifts that you've gotten that you really liked that weren't necessarily high dollar gifts. I think back several years, I used to be a big soda drinker. I drink it some now, but not nearly to the level I used to. And a friend of mine, we both drank Diet Pepsi. That was our drink of the day. And somebody we worked with brought us in each a 12-pack of Diet Pepsi. In those days, it probably cost him $3, $3.50, something like that. It was kind of a while ago. It was one of the best gifts I ever got because I knew I was going to use it. I was really happy to have it. And it was thoughtful of him. He saw what we drank, brought us a big chunk of some. How easy is that? So, anything you can do like that is easy. And try to pare things down. If you're the kind of person who likes, I make these 12 different kind of Christmas cookies, maybe think about making one. And just that one. Make the one you like the most. If you want, I'll stick my recipe down in the chat. Number 3, think about the emotional and physical toll that the holidays can have on you. If you're one of those people who you find yourself so exhausted by the end of the season, find ways to put in breaks for yourself. Even though we're not covering this in great depth right now, make sure you're giving yourself time to recover from things. If you are an introvert and you're expected to go to a bunch of parties, plan in your off days. Plan in days when you don't have to do those things. Make sure you've got, if you're going to sit down to do holiday cards and you don't really like doing holiday cards, think about things like giving yourself a hot drink or a weighted blanket or chilling out and watching some Hallmark movies while you do it. Yes, I do like the Hallmark movies. They're silly and fun. So give yourself some rewards for getting things done. It really helps. But this is going to tie into number 4 and our last one today. This is big. Say no. Just because it's always been done doesn't mean you have to do it. You can say no to things. I'll tell you when I said no to several years ago. I have completely given up on Christmas cards. I love getting them. I think they're wonderful. But you've heard about already today my struggles with getting things to a post office. For some reason, that's a really hard executive task for me. And so by just saying, you know what? I'm in touch with a lot of people on Facebook. I'm pretty good about keeping track of people there. I can send holiday notes that way. I can send texts. I can do things like that. It's not as personal, no. But it is what it is. And that's a big one for me. Think about gift giving is another one. Is there a way to reduce the number of gifts you have to give? Especially if you're like me, you have a big family. The adults in my family, we haven't really done a lot of gifts for a long time. My sister actually started this. She's the one I usually spend the holidays with. And years ago, we decided to just go to small handmade gifts, easy things that we like to do. And so one year I made lip balms for everybody. It was really kind of fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was easy. Wasn't very expensive. I'm frankly still using mine, the one that I kept for myself. So say no to things. It's okay. Let's wrap this up there. Again, a quick replay here. Number 1, keep all your thoughts in one place. I keep mine on the calendar, but notes on your phone, a notepad, a whiteboard on your refrigerator, whatever works for you. But keep all your notes somewhere where you'll see them on a regular basis. Number 2, reduce the decisions by just creating things that you only have to do one. Buy mugs for a bunch of people. Make one kind of Christmas cookie. Only go to one store. Or do it all online so that it gets delivered directly to people. That's another great way to do it. Make sure you've given yourself a decompression routine to get yourself recovering from the things that are too much for your ADHD brain. And say no to the things that just simply don't work for you anymore. And I realize we can't always do that. Families are what they are, and sometimes friends too. But see if you can say no. Remember, you're not behind. You're not bad at adulting. You're not doing the holidays wrong. You can choose to do the holidays the way you want to do them. A few things coming up. I wanted to let you know in 2 weeks, I am going to be doing a big holiday hacks episode. I'm still putting it together. All sorts of little tips, tricks. You've heard a few of them here, but way more tips, tricks, ideas on things to deal with the holidays. On episode 25, which is the one after that in 3 weeks, we're going to talk about the emotional load, and more than just that few minutes decompression that I'm talking about, talk about lots of ways to ease the emotional load so that our poor ADHD brains can survive this. I've got a new program coming out in January, and the month of January is going to be dedicated to this. It's going to be called ASAP for Solos, probably. I'm still working on the title. ASAP is definitely there, because when do we want to fix things? As soon as possible. And how are we going to fix things? And, we wander off. It's hard. It's hard to know how to fix things. And I really want to be able to help with this. This is going to be part of my coaching program. With any luck, I think it's also going to be a coaching course. And you can access it a number of different ways. We'll talk about that once January hits here. So please, if you can, if you would like to subscribe, rate, if you're on YouTube, if you can leave comments below and I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming. Again, I'm Christine Dunning with Two Cats Coaching, and this has been A Solo Person's Guide to ADHD. And remember, you're not as alone as you think. For those of you who are on YouTube, I wanted to you may have noticed, pardon me, I'm going to fix my hair here. You may have noticed that I'm in a different location. I'm trying something new. This is actually my dining room. Technically, my living room's right there. It's all one, like a lot of places these days. And so I'm trying to see if I can talk a little bit more naturally into the computer. Let me know if this worked. I also wanted to point out really quick my lovely, I know it's glaring and I may have to take it down for recording, but I wanted to leave it up today because I love this picture behind me. This is actually it's a painting that was then made into a theatrical poster. And so let me move. I'm sorry, you're going to have glare from the lights. There we go. See if I can get out of the way. So it says Blues in the Night, opens January 30th. This is an original Henry Lowenstein. If you live in Denver and are involved in the theater community, you probably knew who Henry was. Our local Tony Awards are actually named after him. They're called the Henrys here locally. And I'm lucky enough to have 2 different pictures of his. One is over there, and a painting that I also have upstairs. So it's a prize thing in my house. And when the pandemic hit and we got that big slug of money at the beginning, that first $600, I was in pretty good shape financially at that moment. And I decided this is a poster board. And so I got everything framed with that money. That's how I stimulated the economy. Michael's got it all. So anyway, I just really wanted to point that out for those of you on YouTube. Thanks again for coming.